Welcome everybody, welcome back to the kitchen. We're going to be making some honey buns today. I have been wanting to make some honey bun cakes of some sort, and today's the day. I got some little pans in from Shein that I want to try. I'm going to show them to you right quick. This is the little pans. They are silicone. They wasn't very expensive at all. I think I paid $2 or $3 for each one of these sets that you see here. So I'm going to do my little honey bun cakes in these. I'm going to wash these up and get them ready. I just want to make something quick, so I'm going to be doing the honey bun cake. And I'm actually going to be doing my own spin on it. I'm not going to be using a recipe that maybe someone else used. It's going to be similar. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a cake mix, a yellow cake mix, and we're going to add some sour cream to it, some oil, 4 eggs, and for the filling or the topping that we're going to swirl into it, we're going to use some butter with some brown sugar and cinnamon. So what I'm going to do is get this brown sugar and cinnamon and butter into a small saucepan, and I'm going to warm that and melt it and kind of caramelize, give it a chance to caramelize a little bit. So we're going to do that before we mix the cake mix. So let's get that going now. We're going to use a cup of the brown sugar, and to that we're going to add a couple of tablespoons of cinnamon, some ground cinnamon. I like mine to have a lot of cinnamon in it, so I'm going for the 2 tablespoons. You can use any kind of brand of cinnamon that you have on hand and use as much of it as you like. There's just a little bit left in this container, so I'm going to go on ahead and use it too. And we're going to add some butter to that. We're going to do a couple of tablespoons of butter. This is a whole stick of butter. I'm going to use, that's probably about 2 tablespoons there. So I'm going to get this onto the stove and get this warming up. I'm going to get these eggs into here. I'm going to do 4 eggs because it only calls for 3 eggs, but anytime you put 4 eggs, it's going to bring your recipe up a level with that little cake mix. It's going to be a little more special just by adding that extra egg in there. Some yard eggs from my hens. Boy, they're all different colors, aren't they? But they're all chicken eggs. I'm going to add in a little sour cream to that. And we're going to do about a cup. That's what I've seen most people use on other recipes. Add in about a cup of that. And as you can see, I'm eyeballing it. I just did 2 huge heaping tablespoons of the sour cream right there. I'm going to mix that in. Let's go check our sugar. We don't want that to burn. See how it's doing. It's doing good. Smelling good. Smelling right. So let all that come together. I'm actually going to turn it off for a little while just to let it give the sugar a chance to melt without burning. I'm going to leave that like that for a little bit and get back to our cake mix. We're going to add in some oil. The cake mix normally calls for 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. What you need? You can talk. Okay, our sugar mixture is melting pretty good. See that? But to me, it's a little dry. I would like it to be a little more soupy than that because I actually want to kind of pour this onto my cake mix when I get it ready. Since these are honey buns, I'm going to add some honey to this mixture. So let's do that now. That's about 2 tablespoons there. So we're going to add that in, mix it in well, and it's going to make this a little more liquidy and easier to pour when we get ready for that step. And we needed our honey anyway, so there it is. Let's give this a little taste, see how this is. It's cinnamony. It's real good. It's really very good. I'm going to add another tablespoon of honey to it. Okay, there we go. All right, now we cooking with Crisco. Y'all see that consistency we've got there? That's what we want. That's what I'm looking for right there. All right, back to our cake mix. We're going to add in that 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. And we're going to go ahead and add in our cake mix at this point as well. So get that in there. Now I've got this bowl full, folks. Don't I? Lord have mercy. Okay, we're going to add some more cinnamon to this. So I'm going to have to probably stop the camera and go get some cinnamon. Okay, we're going to add a little more cinnamon to it. Y'all probably thinking this girl is serious about this cinnamon on these honey buns. Well, I am. That's probably about a teaspoon. So we're going to also add in a capful of vanilla. There we go. Now I'm going to mix this up, and then I'm going to put my actual mixer into it to complete the mixing, to mix it up real good. But I just don't want to have a cloud in here, a flour cloud like I had on one of them videos. The recipe also calls for a cup of water, but I'm going to take mine up a level and use some milk, which this is some canned milk mixed with water. And I don't know if it's going to take the whole cup just because we put that sour cream in it. So I'm not going to put the whole cup just yet. I'm going to see how it mixes first. This is some experimental cooking. That's what you call this. Okay, we're not going to have a flour cloud at this point, so I'm going to go on ahead and put my mixers into it now. Okay, let's see how this is going to mix up for us. Okay, that looks good enough to me. Now we're going to put them in these pans. I got a mess going here, but we didn't have to use all the milk. You see that? We probably only used 3/4 of a cup of that milk. Now we're going to start pouring them in these pans. Now I have never used these silicone pans before, so I'm really not sure what to expect. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to put them in a metal pan like this. But I didn't oil them, so I don't think you have to oil these. I got these at Shein. I got a good price on them, and I'm so excited to try them. think they're going to make some really nice sized little loaves. I'm filling them about halfway. These make a decent sized little loaf, it looks like. So I got these rectangle ones, and I also have these round ones. Let's see if we can get this evenly distributed. Oops. Here we go. We're getting there, guys. I think these round ones are going to be good to make some little cakes with, like double-sided cakes where you can put a filling on the inside. I want to try to do some imitation oatmeal pies and fudge rounds in these. Okay, so we got a little cake batter in all of them. And we're going to come back with that caramel, that caramelized honey and brown sugar mixture. So let's see what we can do with it. I'm just going to kind of put a little bit in each one of them. See how it works out for us. Now, the cakes that I seen doing, they came back and they put yellow cake mix on top also. I'm not doing that. I'm just going on right ahead with this on top and hoping that it'll bake in well, which we're going to see at the end of the video. Hopefully it'll work out like I had planned. And I'm going to make a mixture to glaze them with probably, although it probably doesn't need very much more sugar in this recipe than we've already done to it. But we're going to see. We're going to see how this all works out. It smells good, I know that. Our oven is ready. Oops, put a lot in that one, didn't I? I might have not had to make as much of this stuff as I did, looks like. But I can save it and do something else with the leftovers of it. I think it'll be fine to use on something else. There won't be much of it left, I can see that. I'm excited for it to be done. It's not going to take long to cook because these little pans are so shallow, and being individual too, just like cupcakes doesn't take as long to bake as a whole cake does. I think this is going to be similar. It's not going to take as long to cook this either. Okay, we got them in the oven. We're going to check them in 15 minutes. It's getting so hot down here in Louisiana, guys, already. We're just starting out in May, and it's already been close to 90 degrees. And this week, we're actually supposed to get some 90-degree weather. So I'll probably be doing less and less baking because it just heats the house up so much. I'll be running my air conditioners more, and I'll probably be hanging my clothes out to compensate for the electricity. You know, I'll try to not use my dryer so much and hang my clothes out to save on my electricity bill, because I do want to use my air conditioners. It just gets so hot and humid here. But anyway, I want to thank all of y'all for subscribing, each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I love reading your comments. And if you haven't subscribed already, I hope you will. I know some people look at these videos and they try to figure out, how do I subscribe? If you're watching on TV, oven's ready. Let me check that. Okay, so our little honey buns are done. I did the toothpick test. Nothing came out on the toothpick, so they're all done. It looks like they didn't stick, which I'm so glad. And we'll be taste testing them once they cool down. As I was saying, a lot of times on these TV, when you're watching these videos on YouTube, on TV, you looking at it and people saying, check the recipe down in the description below. And it took me the longest time to figure out how to get to that description they were talking about. So I want to do a video on that and show y'all a little bit about how to get to the description on the TV when you're watching YouTube videos, so you can see the recipes that a lot of people leave in those descriptions. And also I'll show you how to get to that person's channel to see the rest of their videos and to also subscribe to their videos. You may have seen where they have the thumbs up, and you can arrow onto that and give a thumbs up pretty easy. But as far as the subscribing and getting to the descriptions, for me, it took me a while to figure that one out. So I wanted to do a little video on that because I know I'm not the only one. So we're going to get to that also. We're going to try these when they get cooled down. I'm going to get Mr. E to try one with us, and we're going to see what we have, how close it is to a honey bun cake. I just want to show y'all how easy these are coming out. I'm just taking them out and putting them onto a little cooling rack, and they are coming out like nobody's business. Very easy. And y'all seen I did not put any oil in these at all. And they just coming out like it's absolutely nothing. And you know that brown sugar sticks so bad, but it did not stick in these little pans at all. So I'm very well pleased with that. And it made some thick little cakes too. Look at that. So I want to get them out of these little cups and let them cool. All right, there's those. And then here's the little muffin ones. Let's see how easy or how hard. Let's see how easy or how hard they are to come out of here. Some of them really went over. This one didn't go over at all. Let's see if I can get it out first, maybe, to see how it's going to do. This one stuck a little bit. I don't know if it's because of the way I tried to take it out. Could be a user error. It looks like it is kind of stuck though, this one. Not bad, but it did stick a little bit. Let's see if the rest of them will come out a little easier. Okay. Those little red pans didn't stick at all. These are sticking a little bit. It might be because it's still so hot. I need to let them cool a minute. I don't know. I'll try to get some more of them out. Along the side here. Like I said, that brown sugar, that can be very sticky when you're baking. Brown sugar can be so sticky. I know that Louisiana Delight will stick if you're not careful, and it has that brown sugar in the crust also. It's making some nice little loaves. It's a lot bigger than those honey buns you get at the store. I know that. Now, just for the sake of making these a little more honey bun-like, I'm going to put a little frosting on them. I'm going to use this frosting right here. I find it works very good to do cinnamon buns, or so I think it'll do really good on these honey buns too. It's the Creamy Supreme White Frosting by Pillsbury. It's just the plain white icing. It's not cream cheese. And it works so good on cinnamon rolls. So I don't see why it wouldn't work. Just terrific on these. Also, you see, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. I know easy's not always the best route, but when you're in a hurry and you're just craving something like this, it works pretty well. I think they could maybe use a little bit more. I might could just rob Peter and pay Paul here, because I don't want it too thick. I want it more like a glaze than a big thick frosting. Okay, looks pretty good. And you know, nothing is as good as something straight out the oven. I bet these are going to be delicious. Just like this in just a minute. I came back and added a teaspoon of butter and a tablespoon of milk to this mixture that I had left over. And I'm just going to swirl a little bit on top of each of my honey buns. And we're going to catch these too while we're at it. Okay, and that'll do it. Looks pretty good to me. Mmm. It's moist, like a cake. It's got the cinnamon in it. It's not bad. For a honey bun substitute, if you're craving it, it'll definitely fix that craving. And I plan on sending a couple of these to work with my son, because he loves to take honey buns to work. And I think these will work well for him. Mmm. Mm-hmm. That icing on there and the cinnamon and the cake and all, very, very good. It's a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.